listened to by thousands, climbing the podcast charts in multiple countries, across the globe, on every continent. And now, nominated for a 50 over 50 Podcast Award. This is Like a Muse, the podcast about Madonna remixes culture. Featuring producers, remixers, and artists, with the Queen as their muse. My name is Carrie John Pointer, your producer and host. This episode, our featured muse is recording artist and remixer Paul Andrews. The episode contains my conversation with Paul. He takes us behind the remix of Ghost Town, his officially commissioned remix for Madonna, and how she inspired him to write his own music and believe in his sound. We also delve into his other remixes of Madonna and other artists like Adele, Seal, and someone named Kylie. The interview is interspersed between sections of a DJ Continuous mix, heavy on his Madonna remixes, plus 4 of what he considers his essential remixes, and of course my personal faves. This episode is sponsored by the Vivim Music Visualizer app by MK Games Art and Visuals. The Vivim app is an important part of the production process for the episode video visualizers on YouTube. Now you can create your own unique visuals on the fly as you listen to my episodes. US listeners, use the special discount link for 50% off the first year. A generous percentage of your subscription directly supports my podcasts. Make sure to use the link in the show notes or on the Like a Muse page or the Club Carry NYC sponsors page. The Vivim Music Visualizer app for iOS, Android, and Mac. Now introducing our muse, Paul Andrews. He has written songs for documentaries and produced remixes for Dolly Parton, Gloria Estefan, Robin, Basha, Wing Chun, and Madonna. And of course many underground remixes of various artists, some of which you will hear today in this episode. Paul is now his own recording artist and has written, arranged, performed, and produced 2 full-length albums, Light and Dust in 2019 and From the Distance in 2022. So, Mr. Paul Andrews, welcome to Like a Muse.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here, and I've had a really good time getting to know you in the pre-production for this interview. I have a number of questions for you. As you know, this is a Madonna podcast after all, and this is a question I ask everyone. Can you share a story of your first Madonna-related memory? It can be anything, perhaps a song or an image or a video, anything at all. I encourage you to go way back.
Okay. Well, I grew up in the 80s, so
Me too.
MTV, all of that stuff.
Yes.
I remember seeing her videos, but it wasn't until Borderline came out. I remember her spray painting the walls and I think a car or something. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, this is a good song. I think Reggie Lucas wrote that. I'm like, oh.
Yes, Reggie.
Well, and that's when I started noticing Madonna with that song.
Okay.
But it wasn't until like True Blue when I really got into her because she wants to be an artist. She was growing, you know? Becoming
a more mature artist in her lyrics and in the writing with, and it was Pat Leonard she was working with. A little Stephen Bray still.
Yeah, Stephen Bray, Like a Prayer too, those two.
Oh my gosh, from True Blue to Like a Prayer, huge artistic jumps, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, we're getting off base here, but I always, when I go back and think about that time, her critics never wanted to give her anything. Think about those songs that those came out like that, Live to Tell and Like a Prayer and
they were like songs, really good pop songs.
Major pop songs and just good songwriting. They should have had Grammy awards. She got nothing.
I know. It wasn't until Ray of Light that she got a Grammy.
Almost 20 years later. That's good to hear about your memory, but can you talk a little bit about how you might have been inspired by her?
Again, the more of her, where she was getting mature with her writing, I thought, you know what? She's actually doing the writing. She's writing about interesting topics.
Yes.
She has a real knack for melody, too, which is one reason why I wanted to remix her stuff is because there's an actual melody there. A lot of songs nowadays just repeat notes and stuff, but she had a way to write where you wanted to sing along with her, you know?
Yes.
For me, that's good writing.
Let's dive into your Madonna remixes. Your Ghost Town remix was an official commissioned remix approved by Madonna herself. Can you take us behind the remix and tell us the story, and how did this opportunity affect you personally or professionally?
There is a story around Ghost Town. I was heading back from work and I got a call from my friend Michael, who said, hey, one of Madonna's remix A&R guys, Orlando Porta, is really interested in having you remix Madonna's next single, Ghost Town. I was on the train and I'm like, what? He said, is it okay to give him your number and all this stuff? And I said, yes, of course. So a few minutes later, I did get a call from Orlando. He had heard my Living for Love remix. And wanted me to do a spec remix. They would see if they could use it or not. So I started thinking of ideas immediately for the mix. The other thing about this, I only had 2 days to work on the mix because I was leaving for vacation. Send it over to him and I wouldn't know anything about it after that. I started to arrange the remix in my head on the train. I knew the tempo was one of those tricky tempos where could speed it up, you could slow it down, didn't know what to do with it. Every time I was coming up with ideas, it was more of an expansion of what the original was to make it more orchestral sounding. So I reached out to Orlando and I asked, what is she looking for? And he said, we want you to do what you think would be best for the song. And I said, well, I'm hearing this sort of slower and not necessarily a dance mix. And he said, then go for it. Like, if that's what you're hearing. So I went with my gut and I did something slow, and somehow I came up with everything in the 2 days, not even during work. I still had to go into work the next day. So everything happened after work. I mixed it down. Tom listened to it, my husband. He got emotional at the same points that I did, and I knew, oh, that's like a good sign. I hit the right tone for it, and I sent it off. I didn't hear anything from it until I was actually at volleyball practice. I don't know how many weeks later, it could have been a month. Orlando called and he said that they want to use my mix. Madonna approved mine specifically, that she loved it, but it would be a title exclusive remix. Of course, I was over the moon. I took that as a sign for me as an artist to start going with my gut. Like, there was something behind the fact that Madonna appreciated my work and wanted it the way it was that made me believe in myself a little bit more. That's when I decided I wanted to be my own artist after that. It was basically because of Madonna's approval that I became my own recording artist.
Thank you for sharing a little about how you've been inspired by her and where you began in terms of Madonna. We're going to talk a little bit about more Madonna in terms of your remixes, but also some other artists as well. And I've been listening to your remixes as well as your original productions as a recording artist. And I think I want to talk about your sound. I'm going to ask you to describe it. Let me try to describe it a little bit.
Okay.
And we'll see how well I do. And then I'd love to hear you in some detail, your sound. And then we'll also talk about a little bit your production style. So your style, your sound, I would call it or try to describe it as something about, it's not exactly retro, but it has a vintage sound to it. The sound is definitely modern in terms of its production style. A little bit of soul, not exactly retro, but vintage in style. And when I think about, I'm thinking about your remixes. When people hear about a song that's being remixed, they oftentimes, I think of it as a upbeat, high-tempo dance song. That's what they expect it's going to be. And although I think your songs definitely have a groove to them, for sure, and I could say you could move to them. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily a high-energy dance. There's where I am with your sound. Let's keep talking about it a little bit. How would you describe it?
You know what? I tend to be more traditional, I guess, with arrangements. Mm-hmm. I like taking a song and reinventing it.
Okay.
I don't necessarily just want to add a beat to it. When a song or a remix has sort of like a journey to it, where you hear something and then, oh, this is something a little different, and then it sort of takes you, oh, like I didn't expect that, but I want you to still move to it, you know?
Yes.
So I tend to I like bigger arrangements. I like using sometimes like orchestra sounds and sometimes synths. Yeah, and I like that experience because I'm comfortable with it. I'm not going to do this club slamming track because other people do it a lot better than I do. Yeah, I'm having fun doing it, and part of the fun is how you get like the creative part of you out. It's just playing around with these remixes.
So being creative about it, I hear you saying you're trying to reinvent the sound, take the listener on a bit of a journey musically. I really understand what you're trying to say, and part of the reason why I wanted to have you, and one of the many reasons I wanted to have you on this podcast and have the listeners hear from you, because I want them to be exposed to how a remix can be reinvented. Let's talk about a Madonna remix of yours, and I have a little bit of a story. I've come across your stuff before over the years, last few years, but I was reminded of you. A friend of mine, we were just playing around on YouTube and posing each other to different remixes. Madonna at the time. And he said, have you heard of Paul Andrews? I'm like, I can't remember. I'll be honest, I couldn't remember. And he introduced, my favorite Vogue remix is by Paul Andrews. So we started listening to it. I was like, this is really freaking good. And then we just started listening to all of your remixes. You've got on YouTube, and you've got some web pages where you got them all listed. And then we just started downloading. I started downloading like crazy because you make that available. And it's like, the sound, he has a sound to himself. But that Vogue remix, you say you don't have high energy, then I wouldn't so much to call it high energy. But if there was one, this is it. Let your body move to the music. Hey, 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 come on, go. Let your body go with the flow. You know you can do it. All you need is your own imagination. So you. There's a couple other. There's a Whitney remix of yours that I think is a bit high.
Yeah, and that was just okay.
Talk about this Vogue remix. How did this come about? It seems to me there might be a story there.
There is a story.
Okay.
Actually, there's so many little things about it. I'm friends with Shep Pettibone, and I would try to coax a few stories out from him, like, how was it working in the studio with this person, that person? And he had so many stories. He's great with those stories. I get a message one day, hey, here's a link. He sent me the vocals for Vogue. I'm like, oh my God.
How lucky are you?
And then he said, I know. And he said, my birthday's next week. And I'm like, you want me to do a whole remix by next week? Which sounds more like a record label than a friend. I'm like, let me see what I can do. And then I flew the vocals in. And first of all, just hearing what the original, like how all the parts work, is like, that's more like, oh my God, like nerding out to it. I wanted to approach Vogue with respect because it's such a classic song. And it had elements of elegance already to it with the strings and stuff like that. And I thought, let me concentrate on that side of it. I liked the idea of starting on something that everyone was familiar with. And then like hinting, it's going to go somewhere else. And the further along it got, the further away it got from the original mix. I remember when I played it for my husband, that one part at the end, I call it Beautiful.
Oh yeah, right.
Because I sort of created a new chorus with the background vocals, and I started tearing up with it, and I turned around and Tom was crying, and I'm like, yes, I got it.
That's awesome. What a great feeling.
Yeah. So
what an awesome feeling that must have been.
Yeah. I was so happy with how it came out, and Shep loved it. He said it was one of his best birthday gifts ever. And then someone did a video for it. He edited old Hollywood stuff and B-roll from the Vogue video. Did a really good job. I was really happy with how it turned out. I didn't change the tempo. I kept it. I think it's 114 or something. Because I wanted to respect the original.
In some way, it just really does. You're right. When you think about the sound that you created with that remix, and once again, you reconstructed it, reinvented it, as a term Madonna would use, it does take you on a bit of a journey before you realize you're like, whoa, I really loved hearing your story about you and your husband and how he heard the first time and became emotional. more of my conversation with Paul later in the episode. Let's listen to some of his remixes. This is Mix 1, Reinvention, a mini continuous mix. It kicks off with Vogue, and includes more Madonna, Paul's Lucky Star, and Living for Love, plus Adele, Fleetwood Mac, and Celine Dion.
Beauty's where you find it. Go with the flow. Greta Garbo and Monroe, Dietrich and DiMaggio, Marlon Brando, Jimmy Dean, on the cover of a magazine. Grace Kelly, Harlow Jean, picture of a beauty queen. Jean Kelly, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, dance on air. They had style, they had grace. Rita Hayworth gave good face. Lauren Catherine Manitou, Betty Davis, we love you. Ladies with an attitude, fellas that were in the mood. Don't just stand there to it. Strike a pose, there's nothing to it. Folk.
Let your body go with the flow. Here I go again, I see the crystal vision. I keep my visions to myself. It's only me who wants to wrap around your dreams and have you any dreams you like yourself. Dreams of loneliness like a heartbeat drives you back in the stillness of remembering what you had and what you love, what you had, ooh, what you love. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes your clean love.
A shot in my heart. Took me to heaven, let me fall down. Now that it's over, I'm gonna carry on. Lifted me up and watch me stumble. After the heartache, I'm gonna carry on. Living for love, living for love, not giving up. I'm gonna carry on. Living for love, living for love, not gonna stop. Love's gonna lift me up. Lift me up, lift me up, lift me up. Lift me up, lift me up. I could get caught up in bitterness, but I'm not dwelling on this crazy mess. I found freedom in the ugly truth. I deserve the best and it's not you. You've broken my heart, but you can't break it down. I'm falling apart. This was lost, now I'm found. Picked up my crown, put it back on my head. I can forgive, but I will never forget. Took me to heaven, let me fall down. Now that it's over, I'm gonna carry on. Lifted me up and watch me stumble. After the heartache, I'm gonna carry on.
voices inside so quiet. But you stood by my side, night after night, night after night. You love me back to
If you could talk about how you producing these remixes and your original music. Talk a little bit about the secret sauce that you're into.
Well, every time I approach a new remix, sometimes something just hits me with it, and I go with it. Like I did Kylie Minogue "Slow." Remember that song?
Yeah. Yes.
And all of a sudden, like a bossa nova thing came out from me.
Yeah.
And so I did it like a live band, sort of like the Frozen I did for Madonna. And I'm like, wow, this really works. And I was just having fun doing it. I didn't care if it did anything or not. But I mean, I get positive feedback on it. But again, the play aspect when you work is the most important part of it, because that's where ideas come from.
Sure.
I mean, you do learn from copying other people, you learn from reading tutorials online, but you don't get to who you are unless you start playing. I love the idea of playing with melody and new harmony, with new rhythms, with textures, combining different sounds. For me, that makes it interesting. And I don't want to, like I mentioned before, I don't want to have a song just to hear the beat. I want to have an experience where I put on the headphones.
What you're saying.
Yeah, and then you can appreciate the experience. So my production, I want it to be an experience. Trevor Horn is a huge influence.
Oh, wow!
For me,
yes,
yeah.
I can see that actually. I can hear that.
He provides an experience, and that's why people go to him and like, hey, I need a classic album, and he delivers it.
How does that though translate to some? I want to talk about some of your other remixes. You have a couple of Adele remixes I think that are fantastic. I think you're a fan as well of her.
Yeah, I am a fan. Yeah.
And I suspect there'll be a lot of fans of her on this podcast as well. On this podcast that listen to this podcast. So you interpreted those remixes and what went into the production of those. Anything you can share?
So picking a song by a vocalist, like if you're going to remix, automatically it's going to make it sound better because their voice is just so good.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what's in the background as much. But with that, actually, Set Fire to the Rain.
But I set fire to the rain. Watch it burn as I touch your face. When it burned, well, I cried 'cause I heard it screaming out your name. Your name.
I remember buying a sample pack, and it had that Princess Say I'm Your Number One Simmons snare drum on it, and I thought, I wonder what the song would sound like in that same arrangement. So I started doing Say I'm Your Number One, but different chords. I didn't copy the original, and it turned out I was really happy with it. And then my friend Larry Flick at Sirius, he's like, oh my god, I love this, and he started playing it on his channel, and then he started playing all these other remixes I had, and
That's nice.
that was really nice to hear that. With the what's the other one? Rumor Has It.
Rumor Has It.
That one, I just had a groove going, and I did this thing with the bass. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a Lowdown by Boz Scaggs.
Okay, yes.
And then I'm like, oh my god, can I work in that middle section into the song? And
Yes.
it like fit perfectly.
It
and
did.
Oh my god,
It does.
I was so happy with that. And it was something different because all the other remixes were the dance remixes for it, and I had my own thing going.
Now, you've done this on a few of the remixes I've noticed, of not just Adele, but a few other ones. I'm trying to remember the names now, but suddenly I realized that, wait a minute, I'm hearing something that is reminiscent of a different song. He's recreated it here. I'm trying to remember, was it a Seal song? What am
Seal, I did
here?
Paradise
That's
by Sade.
Part Sade, yes. I'm hearing I'm hearing a little Sade.
But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we are a little crazy yellow people walking through.
I really love that. It's probably going to be in the mix in this episode. You do that surprisingly well in a few other places too. It's not a mashup. It's something new. But
it's not exactly a
harkens
mashup.
back to another song like, woo, all right.
Because I do play all the parts. I don't take the original.
Yes.
But you know what? This is good for people who want to get into remixing. Sometimes I pick a song and I said, okay, I'm going to challenge myself and do it in this style. And then you learn about that style by doing it.
Yeah,
like I learned, there's space in this mix. That's the important part. Or, this has the bass is moving it along. And then, I mean, just by challenging yourself, you learn. So a lot of that was learning production.
Yeah, you did it really well there.
And if you do release it, why not? Like putting it out there, like this is what I did.
Right.
And then you get feedback.
Absolutely. I want to also say that, and you bring a point that I find interesting. Sometimes I hear from people like, well, these unofficial remixes or underground remixes, sometimes it's not so good. I'm like, well, actually, think about it. They're taking a huge leap and a huge risk by putting their work out there on the internet to share with the public worldwide. Mm-hmm. That's a huge risk. I respect that, for one. And that's one of the many reasons why I do this podcast, to be able to uplift people and remixers that I'm listening to. And there's a risk there. I wonder what that's been like for you. You named some people that I'm familiar with, but what's it been like for you to get feedback from the populace? What's it been like? Has it been challenging? It's been great. I'm sure there's been some really great feedback, but what's it been like for you?
I have been very fortunate that people involved with the original productions of the songs have reached out to me. Okay. I don't know the word. It's not vindicated. Yes. But I feel seeing that I understand the musicality there, or that they understand that I understand it. Does that make sense?
Yes. It sounds like you're saying you feel a bit supported and encouraged.
Yeah, like, oh, this is like I did that remix, the Donna Summer remix, and the songwriter who wrote it with her contacted me and said, you know, this is how we actually wrote it. It didn't end up like this on the album, but she would have loved this because this is how we wrote it. And that made me, I didn't care if anyone else liked it, because that, for me, like, made my day.
Complete vindication. I like word vindication, definitely.
But that has a connotation. I don't want it to sound like that.
It does.
More of an understanding.
Understanding's good. Support, understanding. Mm-hmm.
The only way you get better at something is by actually doing the work.
Yeah.
So
you can't shortcut.
I mean, listen to Madonna's old stuff. Like her vocals early on were, you know, I mean, they had soul to it. It was a little rough. It was her own thing, but we all heard how she developed,
right?
You know, and she didn't care. She released everything. She went with it, and you know, and look at her.
So it kind of lead me to some of my final questions. But why did you pick Madonna to remix, of all people?
First of all, I found vocals.
Yeah, right.
No, but again, it goes back to the songwriting, where there's a melody that you want to sing along to, and like, okay, let me change it up a bit, but there's something familiar to it still.
Yes.
I mean, they still play her music. That's how great the melodies were, you know? So it's definitely how strong her melodies, even her word choice, her coming up with these hooks, you know? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
She's a master, absolute master at that. Just doesn't get the credit for it, I don't think.
No, she doesn't. Her songwriting is severely overlooked.
Yes. Coming up, the final part of our conversation about his original songwriting and his productions. And he gives some blunt advice. This is Continuous Mix 2, Cruising for Bruising. It includes Baja, Robin, with a taste of Journey, someone named Kylie, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Paul Andrews' original song Dream State, and Adele.
Cry, come to me and cry. I know it's not easy. Your heart is aching, but so is mine. So is mine. Can I tell you why? So long I've been thinking. Now I know I can live a life. They say true love lasts forever. If we want it, there will be waiting a second chance, baby, but now we need time to learn, time to understand where we were wrong. 'Cause life is so strong, we are cruising, my baby, a second chance, baby, but now we need time to learn, time to understand where we were wrong. 'Cause life is so strong, we are cruising. Go, I must let you go. Don't stop, 'cause it's better now when I still love you. Don't say goodbye, They say true love lasts forever. If we want it, there will be waiting a second chance, baby. We need time to learn, time to understand where we belong.
I just gotta see it for myself. I'm in the corner, watching you kiss her. Oh, I'm right over here. Why can't you see me? Oh, so electric. Slow down and dance with me. Yeah. Slow. Skip the beat and move with the body. Yeah. Slow. Come on and dance with me. Yeah. Slow. Skip the beat and move with the body. Yeah. Slow. Don't wanna rush it. Let the rhythm pull you in. It's so touching. Hear what I'm saying. And I haven't said a thing. Keep the record playing. Slow down and dance with me. Yeah. Slow. Skip the beat and move with the body.
Relax, don't do it when you wanna go to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna come. Relax, don't do it when you wanna suck to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna come. When you wanna come. Relax, don't do it when you wanna go to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna come. Relax, don't do it when you wanna suck to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna come. Shoot it in the right direction. Making it your intention. Live those dreams, scheme those schemes. Gotta hit me, hit me, hit me with those laser beams. Laser beam. Don't do it. Relax. When you wanna come, come on. Relax, don't do it when you wanna go to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna come. Relax, don't do it when you wanna suck to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna come. When you wanna come.
The drama, the scheming, the madness competing. I'm feeling so lost, completely lost. There's nothing appealing. I'm constantly feeling down. The endless desire, the need to inspire. I'm feeling so lost, completely lost. The greed and the gambit, I don't understand it at all. Please let me dream. Don't want to wake up. I'm happy now. I drift situations filled with limitations. I'm feeling so lost, completely lost. Rewarding behavior that constantly favors the meek. Detailed instructions, creative disruptions. I'm feeling so lost, completely lost. The ongoing opposing that keeps us from holding on and letting go. Please let me dream. Don't want to wake up unhappy now. I drifted off to the
one more question about remixes, and I want to talk about a little bit about your own original productions. I've noticed that there hasn't been anything new recently in the last. Are you still remixing?
No, not really. I do special projects where how do I answer this? Well, it is a lot of work to put in to do a remix.
It is.
But the shelf life isn't like it used to be.
Sure.
And like after 2 weeks, people just aren't interested in it as much.
They'll move on, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's our society now with TikTok and all that stuff, where people want something quick and then they're on to the next thing.
Right.
So that gets a little frustrating. Also, I realized I was coming up with all these good ideas, but for someone else's work. Right. So, like, why can't I do it for my own work? Right. And there's something about creating everything on your own that is just so satisfying. And I know this podcast is, a lot of people listening is because they want to get into remixing. And I bet a lot of people here, when they hit a certain point, they're going to be, you know what? I need to do my own thing.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean they still can't remix, but they're going to hit that point where that creativity just takes over and like, you know what? I could do my own thing here. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to do my own thing. I had 2 albums.
Yes.
My COVID album. I had to do something during COVID.
Yes. We all did.
Yeah, there's something really satisfying about that. And I'm still learning it, the only difference is that I'm putting it out there. You have to put it out. You can't just keep stuff for yourself.
Right. You've moved on to doing your own original production. You have 2 albums now. And I have been diving into them. We talked a little bit about your sound. And I think you continue that to a degree with your original production. Would you say that?
Yeah, definitely. I want the experience. I want it to be an experience. I mean, I have been, since the last album, heavily influenced on other types of music. I don't know how it's going to come out from me. I've been writing. I'm playing around. I don't have any definite
this is where my next question is. Keep going.
I don't have a path, and I'm okay with that because maybe I should just release singles. Maybe I should do an EP. My friend Larry told me I should do an EP, and I want to keep on seeing what else I can do. So who knows if I'll sound like Susie and the Banshees next. It's highly unlikely.
Who knows? That'd be pretty cool.
I love Susie and the Banshees.
Yes, right.
But that's a whole different influence, if you know what I mean. It's not like the Pet Shop Boys influence I might have, or ABC and stuff like that.
Message is perfectly simple. The meaning is clear. Don't ever stray too far. Don't disappear. No, don't disappear.
Awesome. ABC, all right.
I love ABC.
Yes. A final question. You talked a lot about your sound, artists that you enjoy, the vocalists that you enjoy, and the remixes that you've created. We've talked a few about them in depth. Some of the challenges you've had and how you've developed as a producer and a musician. And some of the friends that you have in the industry have learned a lot about you. There's a lot of history here. Is there any final thing that you'd like to say to the public? Whether they're listening here or not. They're listening here or not. Something that you want to, a message you want to send, people you want to thank, I don't know.
Just because someone else is successful doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful, or it takes it away from you. And I feel like some people don't want to share like how they like the secret sauce and what you were talking about. And the whole thing is about, this is your representation of yourself. It doesn't matter that you know how to use the quantize feature, right?
Right.
So I think
That's helpful. Like.
it is helpful. I use it all the time. But I feel like sometimes people don't share in a community because they're thinking it's going to take away from their success.
Take away from them. Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. This is Continuous Mix 3, Frozen Crazy Driving Rain in a Ghost Town. Yes, that's the title. It has 3 remixes from Paul of Madonna. It starts with Frozen, then some Seal with a little taste of Sade, Everything But the Girl, then his remix of Rain, and Paul's official remix of Ghost Town.
You only see what your eyes want to see. How can life be what you want it to be? You're frozen when your heart's not open. You're so consumed with how much you get. You waste your time with hate and regret. You're broken when your heart's not open. If I could melt your heart, we'd never be apart. Give yourself to me. Now there's no point in placing the blame, and you should know I suffer the same. If I lose you, my heart will be broken. Love is a bird, she needs to fly. Let all the hurt inside of you die. You're frozen when your heart's not open.
70 years. That's what he goes there for, is to unlock the door. Well, those around him created silent sleep. Through a fractal on a breaking wall, I see you, my friend, and touch your face again. Miracles will happen as we dream. But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we are a little crazy. Yellow people walking through my head. One of them's got a gun, shoot the other one. And yet together they were friends at school. If I were there when we first took the pill, then baby, miracles will happen as we speak. But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we are a little. No, we'll never survive unless we get a little bit.
Maybe one day you'll wake and you'll find me gone. Lover boy, if you call me home, I'll come driving fast as wheels can turn. Oh, lover boy, I know you too well. All of my lowest secrets to you I tell. The highest of highs, the lowest of lows. I'll come driving fast as wheels can turn. Fast as wheels can turn. Stretching away as far as my eye can see. There's some darkness, my hand on the wheel. Love you, boy, please call me home. Girl can get lonely out here on the road. Some days I find your ways find me too easily. I'll leave my keys concealed to you.
Rain, feel it on the fingertips, hear it on the window pane. Your love's coming down like rain. Wash away my sorrow, take away my pain. Your love's coming down like rain. When your lips are burning mine, and you take the time to tell me how you feel. When you listen to my words
Your love's going out like rain. When you looked through my eyes and you said goodbye, could you see my tears? Then I turned the other way. Did you hear me say I'd wait for all the dark clouds bursting in a perfect sky? You promised me when you said goodbye that you'd return when the snow was done. And now I wait for the light, I'll wait for the sun, and I feel your rain. Feel it on my fingertips, hear it on the window pane. Your love's coming down like rain. Wash away my sorrow, take away my pain. Your love's coming down like rain. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say, never go away. Maybe it was all too much for a man to take. Everything's bound to break. Sooner or later, you're all that I can trust. Facing the darkest days, everyone ran away. But we're gonna stay here, we're gonna stay here. I know you're scared tonight. I'll never leave your side. When it all falls down, I'll be your fire when the lights go out. When there's no one else around, we'll be two souls in a ghost town. When the world gets cold, I'll be your cover. Let's just hold on to each other. When it all falls down, we'll be two souls in a ghost town. Tell me how we got this far. Every man for himself. Everything's gone to hell. We gotta stay strong, we're gonna hold on. This world is turned to dust. All we've got left is love. Might as well start with us, singing a new song, something to build on. I know you're scared tonight. I'll never leave your side. When it all falls down, I'll be your fire when the lights go out. When there's no one else around, we'll be two souls in a ghost town. When the world gets cold,
You've been listening to Like a Muse, Madonna Remixes Culture, the podcast.
Just like a muse to me, you always are great.
I would like to thank my special guest, our featured muse, Mr. Paul Andrews. My name is Carrie John Pointer. Thanks for listening.